Hey everybody, welcome to Insomniac Live. My name is James Stevenson, and this is our first live stream in our brand new live stream studio. We're going to be coming at you several times a week, playing a combination of classic Insomniac games like today, as well as new games we're excited about, as well as Insomniac's favorite games. We're going to bring you a whole lineup of crazy Insomniacs from across the company, outside guests to come talk to you about games themselves, their careers, awesome stories like that. I've got two great Insomniacs with me today. John Fiorito, who's the Chief Operating Officer at Insomniac Games. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Brian Algier, who is the Usability Director at Insomniac Games. You may know him from being the Creative Director of the Ratchet & Clank Future series. He also has a great new book out that you should check out. 101 Tips About Being a Creative Director.
Directing video games.
Directing
101
video
Tips for Creative Leaders.
There you go. So check that out too if you have a chance. And we'll have some, you can check out Brian on Twitter as well and all that. But yeah, so you guys are here today because you both worked on Spyro.
That's right.
And we're going to play some Spyro 3.
Yeah. John, I think you worked on the first Spyro, right?
Yes, I worked on all of them.
All of them, yes. And then I joined, and Spyro 3 was my first full Spyro game. And I don't think either of us have played it in 17 years since it came out.
So this game came out in October of 2000. Yeah, 2000, just not even the thing. So it has been almost 17 years since since Spyro Year of the Dragon came out. This is the third game in the Spyro's trilogy, the last Spyro game we made.
That's right, yeah.
Yes.
And I believe John actually proposed the title for it, which is Year of the Dragon.
Yeah, we had a contest. It was a case of beer for whoever came up with the name of the game. And I was having lunch at a Chinese restaurant, and the menu happened to say that 2000 was Year of the Dragon, so it all clicked.
Was it Century Dragon? You're right.
I don't remember.
There's this Chinese restaurant we go to a lot called Century Dragon, or Empire Shrimp, which is just the name of a dish, but people refer to it as Empire Shrimp because that's all they go and eat there is Empire Shrimp every time. So we're going to start the game literally from the beginning, and we'll get this up on the feed for you. Or I think it's up on the feed for you already, actually. So,
yeah, I can't remember any of the names of any of these characters. I know there was baby dragons and Rhinox.
No, someone's stealing the baby dragon eggs and taking them to another through a portal, and apparently only Spyro can fit through it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is it like a portal in the? Was that a portal or is that like a groundhog hole?
Yeah, it's like one of those Bugs Bunny mounds that they.
Capture the eggs, Your Highness. Every last one.
The Frex asked, what office are we streaming from? This is live from Burbank, California. We're in our Burbank office. This is our new space we just built in the last couple months. Literally, we are right in the heart of the studio. I was just next door, and people were working on Spider-Man and looking at Spider-Man on a television. So, like, you know, right around you, just within feet of this room where we're sitting right now, people are making video games. And on the other side of this room, they're eating lunch in the kitchen.
Where are the eggs?
The holes came out on the other side of the Dragon Worlds. We found some of
what
the
did you
eggs,
do
but
on
they were
the
too
game,
heavy to
Brian?
carry back.
I was a level designer, so I designed several of the levels and the layouts. And back then we did everything on paper maps. We had like screen graph paper, and we would try to keep our levels within 2 pages, because if you went to 3 pages, you were out of memory typically. And so I did just a number of different level designs, and part of that was like working with the creative team, you know, which is pretty much the entire office, and coming up with ideas for who the characters are, what the like mini storylines are for the levels. And I think with each one of these levels, it was all based on like this hub layout. So you'd go to these open world hubs, like all of the Spyro games, and then you could travel to the different levels. And then within each level, there was like a main primary storyline, and then we'd often have like some branching side stories that you could play. So this is like kind of the main hub area, and then you go to the various portals. I remember my first level was called the Danda level. I think it was probably called something else, but we had panda bears and everything that rhymed with the name Dan, because there was a guy at the office named Dan Johnson. We would always give it a Danism, which I think you were responsible for those. So
A group effort.
it was a group effort, yeah.
So this is the hub area, right? And now I'm talking to Tinkerbell. No, Zoe. Her
It's
name's
Zoe.
Zoe.
Yeah.
Press the L
I only know that because I read it. So. Yeah.
I'm like it looks like.
Of course.
Hey, you guys never. It's a good thing Disney never sued you for this.
Right.
It's your problem now, Activision. Sorry. Okay, so we're gonna go.
I'm very curious. Yeah, Sunny Villa.
It sounds like a nice place.
Well, I remember when I first played the first Spyro game, I was blown away by the 3D floating font. Like, that was so cool. Like, no one did stuff like that.
How is that? What is that? What is that like? It disappears on. I'm just curious now in the angle, not to show like a bug or something, but.
Yeah, there's lots of weird trickery going on.
They probably only have one side.
No, that's probably
Yeah.
okay.
I
We'll just
mean,
float it.
we were trying to save every single polygon we could.
And we had like this weird thing with sorting, right? Didn't like polygons have to be marked?
PlayStation 1 didn't do Z buffering, and so everything had to be stitched together. And if things intersected, they would shimmer and sort.
That's right. Yeah. So you couldn't have anything intersect, and we had to actually flag some polygons that would sort in front of the others. I think this was my second level that I designed. It was like Cloud City, maybe not.
This-
No,
This is
no,
not
I,
from
no,
Spyro 2.
I can't remember. Actually, wait, no, this is someone else's. But yeah, there's some crazy stuff going on with these bears and rhinos.
Are these rhinos or
rhinoceros.
crocs? I thought they said crocs. Or are those the
They're
crocs
probably
back
the
there?
rhinox.
Rhinox, okay.
Yeah.
Someone asked how big, the Frex asked how big was the Spyro team, like, during those days?
So, the first Spyro team, there were about 11 people, and by the time we got to Spyro 3, I want to say there were maybe 24.
Yeah, I think I was like the 25th employee, so
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I was a
This
background
Rhinox is
artist,
too big to
and
charge.
our
You'll have to
team
blame him
had
using the circle.
5 people building all the levels for Spyro.
And you guys would do like the concept art and I guess build it and texture it and light it.
Yeah, there weren't really specialties back then. An artist just made the
Yeah.
art, and I think the programmer made everything work. And the designers laid it all out.
And when you guys lit things, I don't recall you ever like positioning lights, or did you have lights, or how did that work?
You just colored the vertices to make it feel like light.
Right, it was like called garage shading or something, or
I don't know.
or something weird.
17 years ago.
I know.
It's called lighting now.
Right.
And you need a real lighter to do it.
Things have gotten a little more complex in the last 17 years.
Yeah.
How many? I know you guys are both here, and obviously Ted, Alan, Brian. I think Chad was there. Is there anyone else like that is still from
There's an animator named Dave
Hancock? Yeah, okay.
That's right.
I think that might be it.
That's still pretty impressive when you think about the fact that out of like 25 people, 7 still work here. So like literally a quarter of the original Spyro team still, 17 years later, is still here, which is pretty cool. Or people that worked on the original 3 Spyro games, I guess. Have we ever tried to? I've never tried to. Well, someone asked if we've ever tried to speed run our own game.
Yes, I can. We used to have contests at lunch to see how fast we could play through the games. And I don't remember this particular game, but I know on Spyro 1, if you were good, you could break 30 minutes to beat the final boss. And I believe the record was 23 minutes. And one time, one of our animators was trying to break 20. He was talking about it all week, and we all came back from lunch early to watch him, and he didn't do it.
Was there anything writing on this? I mean,
like a writer?
no, like you had a bet, so we used to, the cake challenge where people would try and eat a cake, and like you got a cake if you won, or if you didn't win, everyone else got a cake.
Yeah, I remember the programmers used to do that.
Yeah.
And it was a big mistake if you tried to eat the cheesecake, because that was the heaviest cake. Yeah. No one could finish those.
So we found another egg. We've found these guys. This guy was chasing a giant chicken, but I think he ate it because the chicken's gone.
I guess they have clubs of meat there. Is that what they're holding in their hands?
There's a
Take a
meat
big
club.
polygonal bite out of it.
So the names of the baby dragons that you hatch out of the eggs, the original idea was they would be names of various people working at Insomniac.
Was there a Sanders?
Well, we ran out of we had a lot more eggs
like
than
50
Insomniac
eggs or something, or 100, yeah.
And then not a lot of people had kids at that point, so there was a couple of kids, and then it was just friends, partners, parents. I don't know.
The ugliest
They
chicken I've ever seen.
All the names mean something to someone at Insomniac.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And a lot of the games have that, like Resistance. I know people like a lot of the photos were like doctored photos or photos of people's grandparents from like the 40s or 30s to like try and fit that time era.
Right.
Yeah, I know there's a name in one of the textures. It's like Brian, B-R-Y-A-N, and I believe it's Craig Stitt's son, who was one of the environment artists. And so that's actually drawn into one of the textures on the walls at I think one of the palaces.
Yes. There's a lot of elaborate scroll work where you can hide things.
Spyro! My, how funny to see
So
you.
this is Moneybags.
Yeah, a little on the nose here, the naming, but you know.
Well,
Yeah,
this
what-
is when it was slump
I guess you're about to
after
play the
that, so I came
kangaroo
here and
level.
struck up a nice
Or
little
maybe you're not, because you
sorcerer.
need to get some gems to unlock that. Right?
Yeah.
The sorceress
But
has
that's,
asked me to
I think,
guard
was the
Sheila.
big, what we called our innovation at the time, is instead of playing just Spyro, you could play...
Oh, I need a
We called
193
them-
more gems.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
man.
know.
You
yeah.
guys.
Highway robbery. I think we called them critters, right? That was the new.
Yeah.
For some reason, the new playable characters were critters. That was Sheila, the kangaroo, and then we had Bentley, the Yeti,
Yeah, we had Sergeant Bird, the penguin,
and that monkey.
and Agent X. the
Agent
monkey.
X, right?
I think clearly, when we were making this game, we started making what was to become Ratchet, so we knew this was the end, and we were just letting it all hang out.
Yeah, there's some really,
There's just a lot of weird stuff in here.
indeed, yeah, very
Became
trippy
part of its
levels.
charm.
Yeah, what were we smoking, right?
I saw something.
Never mind. I saved that for-
Well,
all right.
Brian let me hang
Hey,
out a little
that's
more.
That's one of those things that everyone just knows but doesn't talk about. Oh.
Okay, Cloud
This is-
Springs.
Cloud Springs. This is
I
the end of the
remember this
90s.
one. This is my
Someone says,
second level.
Sweet Tea Holic says Moneybags is the Antichrist. True or false?
He's
It's
just a fat
possibility.
bear. That's what Ripto called him.
I guess like that was before like Bear Stearns had collapsed, so it kind of probably wasn't a Bear Stearns joke. Never mind. I'm just gonna shut up.
I think he was supposed to be a heartless banker, is what his
Right.
inspiration was. So maybe that is the Antichrist, or I don't know.
Although he's willing to let a kangaroo out. Oh, there we go. Okay.
For a small fee.
Yeah, for a small fee.
I remember we had
Press that button.
Yeah, you have to press. Yeah, I remember we had a lengthy discussion on how cheap it felt to get blown back by those winged guys.
Well,
We used to have a lot of like.
You just taught me how to glide, so I was sort of like, well, I think you taught me how to glide to get over him to get
Yeah,
in.
to jump
Did you
that-
add that
that
into
hurdle.
the
I-
rule? Yeah.
But he doesn't do any damage, so
I
that
think-
was kind of.
I think what isn't
where
the
we ended
mechanic
up.
you glide and shoot fire while you're in the air to take him out?
Yeah, you had to do kind of a jump.
Oh, you can. Oh, so I can actually shoot fire while I'm gliding. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, now they have shields. What? How did they get reach? Enemies were so non-threatening until now.
Well,
So
you
you-
went up an elevator. Come on.
Okay.
This is where you. Well, should I tell him?
No, don't tell me. Well, I'm.
Well, of course, you can just
Oh.
run past them too. That's always a strategy.
That classic video game strategy of running past the enemies. Okay, hello
The
Tinkerbell.
metal
I mean,
armor those
Zoe.
enemies are wearing protects them from your dragon flame. If you
Oh, so I can charge. I see. I can charge it up. Oh, I charge a run.
Yeah.
All right.
That's where we kind of put a pinch point that kind of forced you to.
I have to
charge
admit,
them.
I haven't played a Spyro game in since I was a kid.
Yeah, he boils down to he can charge and he can breathe fire. So there's things in the game that can burn, and there's things in the game that can be broken. And that's your combat strategy.
This is where you have to jump twice and then flame them.
So that to me,
ramping it up.
that to me sounds like a lot of the reason why Ratchet has hands.
Yes, Ratchet has hands so he can carry weapons. basically.
I mean, did it get hard making Spyro, knowing that like he's this, you know, he can't pick stuff up, he can't do.
I think sometimes it's kind of fun to have constraints, and so you kind of just work around them, and you just come up with clever ways to kind of build the challenge, knowing that the player has two options. And it's interesting because even though all you can do is you can just switch quickly between flaming and charging, people still kind of switch it in their brains.
Right.
And we even tried that in some of the later Ratchet games where we had like electrical enemies versus non-electrical, and that was like another layer of complexity that often people struggled with.
Yeah, and I think as we were making these games, they were platformers.
Right.
We hadn't, you know, combined the shooter with the platformer. That's what Ratchet was. I don't even know what kind of shooters were even out. I mean,
yeah, like the
there was,
game
like,
that
Doom, there was Quake.
the one that
definitely weren't any third-person shooters.
like Jet Force Gemini was maybe like the closest
right.
thing, like
Yeah.
the to Ratchet before Ratchet in my mind, but that was almost more Mega Man-y, kind of like 3D Mega Man versus what Ratchet became. I don't know. Chad, if you have any others, let us know. And I'm trying to like watch chat occasionally while you guys are while I'm playing, so forgive me if I'm a little slow on your questions. Feel free to
John can
re-ask
play
your questions.
too, actually.
I can hand the controller.
Yeah.
Wait, what is Moneybags doing? I'm saving for a
Moneybags
kangaroo, dude.
is
What do you want
everywhere.
now?
Yeah.
He's very resourceful.
You guys are fleecing me for all these gems.
I know. Well, this is why in later Ratchets we just stopped using bolt gates at all, or money gates.
Money gates?
Yeah.
So literally, I was saving, and I thought I was going to go get the kangaroo free, but now I just spent all my money because he wants me
Get
to
gouged.
activate the bellows.
You need to. There's treasure chests all throughout the level that you need to take the gems out of. That might help you get.
So what you're saying is I'm not good enough to find the treasure?
No,
X doesn't
you're
work
just
for
going
spot?
by them.
I'm running right past them.
Yeah, the baskets are flammable and the vases are breakable.
Yeah, Silent Tremor says it's called extortion. Thank you.
Yes.
Or that's called an economy, which I guess is another word for extortion.
Now imagine if you didn't have the gems for that, right? You have to go back.
James, what were you doing when this game came out?
In
Being born.
2000, 1999. Well, Nebraska was still good at football, so that was fun. No, I was in high school when this game came out, but I was a video game journalist at the time. I didn't actually review the Spyro games, believe it or not, but I was a.
So what was your favorite game when this game came out?
Oh, this was 99, so I mean, like you're right around the era of like the N64 being like I was a Nintendo kid, so PlayStation 1 I did some stuff, but I really wasn't a PlayStation guy until PS2. But so I would, it would have been like awkward. Oh yeah, I gotta flame these guys. I'm trying to charge them. See, what you said, like where you switch it up, you're using the wrong move.
Exactly.
So yeah, it was like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
geez.
No. Oh, all right. I'm gonna get to John because I died, so John gets to play for a little bit and see how well he does this, and then I can ask questions. Yeah. So like that was what I was. I played a lot of those N64 games. So you got to do the whole jumping. Oh wait. Nice. Look at the charge into the jump glide.
I'm trying to
It's
remember
like a pro.
the buttons.
So yeah, you
Muscle
press
memory
square, you hold down square to charge, and then circles flame and jump, and then you can do the little hover thing.
Yeah, the interesting thing is PlayStation 1 did not have analog sticks, so
But
now we do, and
I think they did come. No, there was because you do the game had to be compatible with it, so I think it did come out at the end of PlayStation 1. So you must have made it compatible because it's working. We were messing with other games, testing the stream setup, and some of the old PlayStation 1 games do not work
Wait,
with
so
the
the
analog
DualShock
sticks.
came out during PlayStation 1?
It wasn't DualShock. Well, maybe it was called DualShock at the time because I think it was the
Dual
DualShock 2 came with the PS2, but there was a analog controller that came
that's
out late.
right.
It was like Metal
Yeah,
Gear
yeah.
Solid,
I
I
remember
think
that.
maybe. Someone in the chat probably knows.
Yeah.
the camera's not. It eventually moves for me, but
Oh yeah, you have to use the triggers. You can't use the right stick.
Oh,
it's
it's the
it's
trigger,
R2 and L2 or the camera. So it's not that. So that's the thing. You can move, but the camera control
Oh, yeah,
wasn't
it
mapped to
supports
right
the
stick.
right stick.
right
Yeah.
there we go.
I remember when we were initially designing Ratchet, we weren't sure if people were going to use the right stick.
Right,
Just
because
because
people
no one
didn't
was
know- hadn't
accustomed
done
to
it yet.
using it. Yeah.
I mean, even the N64, which had like the first analog stick controller, which I think was with DualShock replaced, or was competing with, had one analog stick, and you'd use those camera buttons.
That's right.
To do all of that. So I saw in here Shovelware Games, Jake Sones, a former Insomniac.
Hey
stopping
Jake,
in
how's it
saying,
going?
Love your new logo, new space looks awesome. Congrats on all the new franchises. Hey Jake, been a long time. Did you hear us talk about Empire Shrimp earlier? Yep. Jake and I have gone to Empire Shrimp.
Oh,
that's the same
Oh,
place.
so you gotta pass the controller now.
Yeah, okay. If you die, the next
If you die, you
person
pass.
takes it.
It's just like how it's supposed to be. So we're actually
Alright.
playing on PlayStation. This is a PlayStation 2 we're playing on, but
there we go.
that has like the full chipset for PS1, so it works. And you may have noticed we've scaled it. If you're looking at home, hopefully you can tell on your computer screen, but we're running it through a scaler and scanline filter. So
I keep wanting to press.
should give it that nice.
That centers it. Nice.
What's in that portal? Is that the end of the level?
I think the
Man.
portal.
Oh,
might,
jeez.
oh, Fluffy.
Wow,
That is fluffy.
that's just bad design
Is that a
right
cat?
there. Who puts an NPC in the middle of an enemy setup? Oh wait, that was me.
Well, you know.
Hey, it's my
What
my
is-
second level.
What was fluffy?
It looks like, I don't know, he's got a cool hairdo. Although his hairdo matches, wait, does his hair match the mountain right there? Is that the whole thing?
I wouldn't be surprised. It's some ingenious character design there. Who designed the characters?
That's a good.
That was
I
probably
don't know.
Oliver.
Yeah.
Oliver Wade.
This thing
I
to
guess
clock
I
up the
did.
cloud journey.
That makes sense.
Let's see.
And
Oh,
animated
Ape
them.
Escape was the dual analog game on PS1.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ape Escape.
Thanks, great tractor. That's awesome. You're totally right. I saw a good question in here for a second, but I don't even know. People are asking Ryan about his kid in the chat, which is hilarious.
Okay.
Oh, were there any games you canceled around the PS1 2 era? That's kind of interesting because, like, we finished this game, and then you were working on something else that wasn't Ratchet originally.
Yeah,
That's
we
right.
had a bunch of ideas as what to do on PlayStation 2. There was a concept called Monster Night. I think you guys posted
Yep.
about.
Monster
There
Night.
was the one
IGN has all the. If you go on IGN, if you Google Monster Night IGN Insomniac or something like that, you'll find the article that Colin
That
Moriarty
is a
wrote.
sunspot.
What's that thing?
You have to kind of.
I just see 7-Up copyright infringement. Like first it's Tinkerbell, now it's Spot. Like Jesus.
Yeah.
Maybe the Noids.
We didn't reach too far for inspiration. Okay.
And again, I think back in the day, like anything, the shapes were all so simple that everything looks like everything else.
Yeah.
It
All
looks
right.
like a
I gotta keep
California
this guy
raisin,
hot.
A sultana.
Right.
Okay, so you got to keep flaming him so that he does
Oh
whatever.
man, and I'm mixing up the charge and flame buttons.
Okay,
It really has been a while.
that's actually a pretty fun mechanic. Like keep them on fire
Yeah.
and chase them.
All
So you have
right,
to chase
so I
them
gotta
around.
Center
and
the.
set them on fire. I cannot read. Corey.
Yeah, Corey, you can
is
say
our
it, actually,
Corey
if you
is
want.
our awesome tech
There
back
we go.
here, and he just tried like from 15 feet away, tried to hold up a sticky note, and he's literally just gonna walk it in. Stuart. Oh yes, of course. I was gonna get to that.
Oh jeez. There we go.
So okay, fine. We'll just go straight to that. One
Ryan
thing
solved the
people
puzzle.
talk. Oh, I did.
Almost.
I missed him solving the puzzle.
Every puzzle's in threes, So there's got to be one more.
Is that just like that was a like 32-bit era and earlier rule of video gaming, right? All puzzles in threes.
I think the toughest thing is the camera. I just cannot control the camera with this game, but.
Yeah, use that R. Remember, it's R2 and L2.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
It takes a lot of new like relearning that old muscle memory of using
Yeah.
like digital buttons to control a camera. I don't know if you guys can hear it very well. It's probably hard because we have the volume turned down. Maybe on the stream you can hear it better than we can. But the music for this game
That's right.
was, and we'll go back to the canceled game question. I know we were in the middle of that. But the music for this game was Stuart Copeland.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, he's in a
I got
pretty
that.
big band called The Police.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh,
What was
okay.
it? I don't know. What was it? I wasn't there. So what was it like?
The
working?
drummer on the
Yeah, he's the
Police,
drummer
right?
for the Police.
Yeah.
right?
I saw him.
That's a huge band for those who remember the Police.
Yeah, I
Oh.
think when we were making these games, Stuart Copeland was doing a lot. The Police had broken up. I think he was doing movies and trying to compose
no.
music for other things than bands. Again, I was an artist on the project. I wasn't involved in that too much, but yeah, he ended up doing the first Spyro, and we kept working with him on all of the Spyros. And we had a really good partnership.
There's one crazy bit of trivia about Stuart Copeland and Insomniac that's kind of funny now, years later. Is that
That's right.
his son works here.
He does.
And his son Patrick works at Insomniac, and
There we go.
oh, look, you got it. You got all of them in the.
Spots.
What is that? Is that like a
And they're
kettle?
gonna
It's like
form
a
a sun. This is how suns get made,
That's
kids.
not the police.
It's a giant drum almost or something.
Power trio.
He's got his sun. I love the sunglasses. The sun needs sunglasses. Like, why? Why does the sun need sunglasses?
And that
guys?
cinematic was not like traditionally animated. It was all completely programmed. I remember Brian Hastings. I had like written down the description for how the scene might look, and Brian Hastings, who's our chief creative officer, was programming Spyro and a lot of these levels, and he programmed that whole sequence.
Yes. Yes, we tried to make every level, when you
Lulu.
finished, ended, you got a little movie as a reward.
Right, and then we always had the opening shot too. So we'd frame it at the beginning and then have like a scene at the end.
I wonder who Lulu is. Is that someone's pet, do you think?
I could be.
I think I definitely would try to get Lulu's good. If it was your pet was called Lulu, you got to get in. So this is the portal back. I assume back to the overworld. Where
Yes,
you can.
now-
Oh no, it's not.
Oh,
it's
no,
out-
it's back to the
there-
level.
You know what?
But then
this-
you can portal back.
This is a huge innovation
Yeah,
here.
because in Spyro 1, a level could have 5,000 polygons, and we started getting 7,000 to 10,000 polygon ideas. So we needed to, I think we called them chunks.
We did, yes.
So
They were
these
like
were like
loadable
sub-levels
chunks.
within
Yeah,
a level.
yeah.
Is that the scientific term? Chunks.
Just like
It's a
why we
software
called all of the
developer
characters Mobies,
Mobies.
which I don't even know where that came from.
That came from, they were movable objects.
Ah, of course.
Yes. And anything that could move is a movie.
I remember like starting in Insomniac, everything was still Mobies in the Resistance 1 era, and I remember being very confused by what that meant at first.
Yes.
You hear a lot about Mobies. Let's see. What else? We got some.
That must be a new chunk, huh? Up
That's
in
a
the-
new chunk.
in the
Yeah, we're
clouds.
going
This is in
up
the
higher in the
clouds.
clouds.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
this is our
Oh,
view.
all right.
It's an-
Wait, so now instead of dealing with the sun seeds, you have to deal with the clouds?
Yeah.
That you got to wake up a
This is
rain
how
cloud?
all the weather gets created in this world.
Okay, so that's the whole
Part of the
story of this world.
mythology.
Ah, I like it. So this is like the weather factory. That's pretty cool, actually. Like,
Oh, geez, that would be terrible.
that's
Oh,
why
you
I
actually
should-
get
I
to
should
fly.
Flame that.
It's a timer.
oh, do
That's-
you have to fly through each of those
Oh,
then and
God.
hit them?
Right.
That recharges
This is
your.
a,
Oh, your timer goes back up if you
Yeah,
go back through
yeah,
it.
This
But
is gonna be a controller throwing moment. I'm afraid. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go.
You can't die here. So you can't
do you feel like this is sort of revenge at all or
It
anything
is,
for like
yes.
what you inflicted upon people 17 years ago, and now you're
Probably.
getting to do it live?
Yeah, actually,
was state of
it's
the
all
art
coming
17
back. Oh wait,
Yeah,
I
no.
totally got that.
Yeah, look at this.
What the
Man.
hell? Oh, I should have hit the gate again. That wasn't smart. Come on,
You're gonna run out.
juice.
All right, you
Come
got two.
on,
You got two left. Come on, you got this. You got this.
So I gotta ring the. I gotta.
Oh, you missed it again!
take a shortcut and go through the.
All right, I ran out of gas.
But hey, the fours still stay. It's not like you got to get all 6 in one run.
that is, yeah, that was nice of us.
That was nice of you guys.
We weren't pure evil.
Do you have to
Okay.
ring the bells also? Or?
I think that rings the bell.
I think it rings whenever you kill one. The
Thunder
bell
or
starts
something.
ringing.
Okay,
I
come on,
think.
right?
Killing a smoke
Hey,
beast rings.
I totally flamed that guy right in the face. I don't know what's up with this. So I guess you can go do this to get some more juice. And back up. All right, I'm gonna try a little earlier. I think I hit it maybe a little late.
Hey, there's a beef down there too.
Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. You just have to spam the button.
So Peachy Angel Princess asked, in the first Spyro game, how'd you do the effect where Spyro would fly through the portal and the background wouldn't fade or change at all by the time he landed in the new level? It was really impressive.
I'll take that one, James, since
Yep.
I'm one of the 4 people that.
I know we're there.
I want to know.
That was actually, that effect was one of our biggest pieces of programming magic, where the portals had the skies from the subsequent levels loaded into memory. So when you went through a portal, we would point the camera at such that you were flying against the sky that was already loaded, and as you were flying, the level would load in beneath you, and then you would elegantly land in the level. So it was a seamless transition.
Got
The
it.
problem was when you would transition from a world to a new world, we would have a balloon ride, and the balloonists would do a similar thing where they would fly up into the sky, and the camera would point to the sky, and then the new world would load in beneath you, and then you'd come down.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
That, And at the time, like with everything, the way everything had different loading and stuff, was really, really impressive.
Oh, I should just.
Oh, there it is.
I know, I don't know what I was
That's
doing.
back
I
at
should have
me.
just gone through that big giant glowing portal and actually shown people what we were talking about.
Okay.
Oh wait.
At least we had nice save points.
Yes.
By the time we did
Yeah.
So you
Spyro.
actually have to go through the portal right there, and we can
This-
see how the sky
okay.
transition works.
Okay, so before I start playing again, someone asked, what was the thinking, this is Scathy Games, what was the thinking behind making charging unlimited? Definitely brings the pace up, but I always felt like I shouldn't be overusing it.
So I think when we were working on the first Spyro, we didn't yet have the charge, and he would run around, and it just took forever to get anywhere. And when we introduced the charge, it just became so much easier and so much more fun that we just left it on. Same thing happened in Ratchet with the charge boots.
Right.
That eventually became a default mechanic.
Yeah, I think one thing that we were always concerned about is people just rushing by enemies and ignoring them, which you can certainly do in this game. But when we've watched a lot of play tests, we've seen that people typically just kill all the enemies because it's more fun to play the game that way.
And don't you get
Thanks,
a
but I
jam?
think we can look after ourselves.
Yeah.
Try looking after this.
Well,
Reward
look,
you for
look,
killing
Moneybags needs his money,
He
so
does, so
you better
he-
go kill all the enemies and collect it.
That's right.
I like you got the Sunset Overdrive pillow between the two of you.
Yeah, and we brought in this guy here too. So
That is like probably one of the rarest pieces of Insomniac. So we've got a lot of cool swag in the studio. Actually,
The
this
Disruptor
Disruptor
lunchbox.
lunch